Welcome back to the Maelstrom, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have another Warhammer 40k battle report for you. Eldari versus Blood Angels. Today we're going to be playing Secure Missing Artifacts from the Exhibition and Finals missions. So for this mission you have 5 objectives. The objective in the center of the table is set. The other 4 are in a square around it initially, but then there is a change. Each player gets to move those objectives before the game begins. So the way that works, you can see the 2 on the left are labeled A, and then the 2 on the right are labeled B. First, the attacker repositions one objective marker labeled either A or B. Then the defender repositions one labeled A and one labeled B. So it has to be one that hasn't been repositioned already. And then finally, the attacker repositions the last objective marker, whether it's an A or a B, the one that hasn't been repositioned yet. So the scoring from there is pretty standard. You get 4 points if you hold one objective, an additional 4 points if you hold more than one objective, and then 4 more if you hold more than your opponent. Also, each player will have one objective in their deployment zone nominated as their priority objective by their opponent, and they will score an additional 3 points if, at the end of their turn, they are holding that objective. For the Eldari army today, we're going to be playing a battalion detachment from Craftworld Ulthway. We're going to start things off in the HQ slot with Morgan Ra, a Farseer with the Ghost Helm of Alshazier, Smite, Doom, Executioner, and Focus Will. He is going to be our Warlord. We also have a Spirit Seer who has Empower, Innervate. In the troop slot, we have 2 squads of 10 Guardian Defenders, and then we have 5 Rangers with a Gloomfield. For elites, we have 5 Wraithguard with Wraith Cannons, 2 Wraith Lords with 2 Flamers, 2 Shuriken Cannons, and a Ghost Glaive on each. 6 Striking Scorpions. The Exarch has a Scorpion's Claw and Crushing Blows for his Exarch power. We also have 10 Dire Avengers. The Exarch has a Power Glaive and Shimmer Shield. And then we have 4 Warlocks with Protect and Jinx and Embolden Horrify. In Fast Attack, we have 5 Swooping Hawks. The Exarch has Suppressing Fire for his power. And then for heavy support, we have 2 Fire Prisms. They have a Crystal Targeting Matrix and Twin Shuriken Catapults. And then we have 5 Dark Reapers. The Exarch for them has an Eldari Missile Launcher and Reaper's Reach for his power.
Today I will be playing Blood Angels. For my HQs, I have Lamarty's. He is going to be running with the Litanies, Exhortation of Rage, and Mantra of Strength. I have a Primaris Chaplain on a bike. He has the Catechism of Fire Litany and the Relic, the Icon of the Angel. He is my Warlord with the Imperium Sword Warlord trait. For my troops, I have 2 squads of Assault Intercessors, 5 men each, a 5-man Intercessor squad, a 5-man Terminator Assault squad with 2 Thunderhammer Storm Shields and 3 Lightning Claws. I have a 5-man squad of Terminators with an Assault Cannon. For Fast Attack, I have a 6-man Assault squad with 2 Melt-A-Guns, and the Sergeant has a Power Fist. And I have a 3-man Outrider squad. For Heavy Support, I have 2 Bell Predators with Twin Assault Cannons and 2 Heavy Bolters, and a Repulsor Executioner with a Macro Plasma Incinerator and all the good stuff. And for dedicated transports, I have an Impulsor.
Deployment is complete. Eric, walk us down these Blood Angels.
So my Intercessors and Lamarty's are on this flank with my Outriders and Primaris Chaplain on the other. My Bell Predators are taking up either flank to support them, and Impulsor and Repulsor are carrying supporting troops.
Then you have Terminators in reserve and Assault Squad.
Yep.
All right. For the Eldar, we have forward deployed our Rangers and our Scorpions. We have our Warlocks and our Fire Prisms back here. Then we have our Spirit Host in the middle with the Farseer and Spirit Seer. And then we have the Swooping Hawks, Moggan Ra with his Dark Reapers, 10 of the Guardians, all hunkered up there on that objective. And then we have 10 Dire Avengers and 10 more Guardians that are going to be coming in by Webway Strike. All right, so for first turn, the Eldar have a 2. Blood Angels have a 2. And the Blood Angels will have first turn. All right, after losing the roll for first turn, the Eldar used Phantasm to disappear one of the Wraith Lords, the Wraith Guard, and the Spirit Seer. They all went into strategic reserve. Passing things over to Eric now for his first turn.
So everything was a general advance forward. Chaplain went to get the objective. Tanks hiding down the central alleyway. And Lamarty's moved forward, and he's going to jump and grab the striking Scorpions.
All right, 1 combat to work, and then we will be back.
So Lamarty's went in, managed to punch 3 of the Scorpions down, and took 1 wound in response.
Yep, we used lightning fast reactions, didn't save any hits. Wounded me 5 times. I used 2 Strand of Fate rolls to count as rolling 6s for those. Unfortunately, failed the other 3. We did him a bunch of wounds, but his saving was boss, and he only went down 1 wound total. We did also have crushing blows on the Exarch here. Got 3 wounds through with him, but he did involve all of those. So that's where we're at as turn 1 for the Craft Worlds comes up next. The Eldar's initial turn is complete. We did a lot of maneuvering, advances with the Psykers to get them to this end of the table. We used a feigned retreat to bring the striking Scorpions out of combat and still be able to charge this turn. And then we moved the Wraith Lord forward, and he took Protect. The Farseer moved over here, cast Focus Will on himself after taking a Seer Council. Executioner and Smite then went through because we do have the Ghost Helm Relic for Ulthway, and that was enough to finish off Lamarty's. We maneuvered our Wave Serpents to the flanks of the building here to draw a bead on both Bell Predators, and then we moved the Dark Reapers up high, the Swooping Hawks into the street. The Swooping Hawks and Moggan Ra together did 2 wounds to the Chaplain. Continued to roll 4+ invols like a boss. The Wraith Lord's Shuriken Cannons did 2 wounds to the bikes. And then the Dark Reapers managed to do 1 missile hit here and a couple here, and plus the Eldari missile launcher. So we left this one at 3, this one at 8. The Fire Prisms lined up on both, and I missed with all 4 shots. Including one that I command point re-rolled because I had a spare free wound with Strands of Fate. I was going to use it to make sure that I finished this Bell Predator off. Just was not in the cards. But spread out, took some positions on the table. At least we got rid of the Murder Chaplain in the middle of us. Got to take the high points where you can get them. Blood Angels turn 2 coming up next.
So for Blood Angels turn 2, my Outriders and Bikes moved forward. My Repulsor Executioner continued its move around the side with the Primaris Chaplain on a bike. My Intercessors and Bell Predator on this flank moved around. Reinforcements. My Assault Squad came on here, shot at the Fire Prism, and my Terminators came in and shot at the Guardians. They're going to be charging into the Fire Prism. The Assault Squad is charging into the other Fire Prism. Through odd shots, we managed to bring down the Dark Reaper Squad and took 2 wounds out of Moggan Ra with the Repulsor Executioner.
Yep, and 1 Warlock here, plus a half of another.
Yep, Outriders are going to be charging into the Rangers. So Assault Phase comes to a wrap. My Outriders managed to cut through the Rangers, took 2 wounds from the Farseer in return. The Assault Marines managed to punch a handful of wounds out of the Fire Prism, and the Terminators managed to knock that fire prism down to 3 wounds.
All right, the Guardians down here used Insane Bravery. Cannot afford to lose that objective at this point. And that is going to be it for Blood Angels turn 2. Eldari turn 2 wraps up. The Warlocks join the Farseer here to fight against the Bikes for the turn. Put Seer Council out to give him +1 to his checks, then also cast Focus Will on him. We then used Smite. We rolled a 12 and were able to roll a 6 for our mortal wounds. So we killed one of the Outriders, left the other at 2 wounds. With his final power, we cast Doom back here on these Marines. We also used one of our Strands of Fate points this turn to get a 6 for the one of the Psychic dice on the Warlocks. Unfortunately, rolled a 6 on the other, burned a command point to try to get rid of it, rolled a 6 again, and lost the 1 Warlock. But we were able to cast Jinx back here onto these Marines. Reserves came on here in the form of the Dire Avengers and Guardians, and they were able to finish that squad off. The Fire Prism used Fire and Fade, and then used 2 more Strands of Fate points to auto hit and auto wound, and finished off the Bell Predator that was down to 3 wounds. Our Swooping Hawks jumped from where they had landed last turn. They jumped out here into the open, fired on these Marines, killed 1, wounded 1, and then they used their leap ability to jump back behind the brown building in that corner because we no longer have a squad back there for engage on all fronts. We did also fall back with this Fire Prism just to avoid getting beaten senseless for no exchange down there. And then Morgan Ra and moved forward onto the edge of the building to help out on this flank. We brought on our Wraith Lord and Wraith Guard back here along with the Spirit Seer. We cast Empower onto the Wraith Lord in case we needed him in combat, but the Wraith Guard turned on and they were able to destroy the Repulsor Executioner with their Wraith Cannons. When the Marines fell out, 1 died. Another was cut down by the Shrieker Cannon from Morgan Ra's Mogatar, and then left us out of charge range there. However, Morgan Ra has jumped down and charged into the Chaplain. This Wraith Lord has advanced to the middle, shot down a couple of Marines and wounded another with his Flamer. He is dual locking the Bell Predator and the Assault Intercessors. And then our Striking Scorpions moved forward and they're charging into this Marine squad as well. The Warlocks are going to join the Farseer here. We got several combats to work and then we will be back. Combats wrap up. The Scorpions were able to kill all of the Marines with the Exarch through Crushing Blow. The Wraith Lord was able to finish off the Bell Predator with his Ghost Glaive. Morgan Ra and the Chaplain traded 2 wounds apiece, and the Biker was cut down here by the Warlocks. So that is going to be it for turn 2. Blood Angel Response in 3 is next.
So my Impulsor moved back to try and soak up some damage from the Wraith Guard. My Assault Terminators dropped. They both tried to charge into the Wraith units and both failed. My Intercessors moved back to hold the objective. Tried to kill out the Scorpions. I think they dealt 1 wound to them. The Chaplain took 2 wounds but killed Morgan Ra in response. And the Terminators moved back, shot the Guardians off the table, and dealt a wound to the Fire Prism.
Yep. So that's it for Blood Angels. Eldari, turn 3 is next. Eldari, turn 3 is finished. We went ahead and moved everything towards the rest of the battle here, with the exception of the Warlocks. They finally cast Scry Futures on this objective. We then fired here with the majority of stuff, or were aimed here to shoot here with the majority of stuff. But the Farseer was able to get off a big smite and an executioner, killed all but 1 wound out of the squad, and that last one was taken out by the shuriken pistols from the Scorpions. The Wraith Lord turned and fired down the field and killed off the Chaplain. The Wraith Cannons were able to kill the Assault Intercessors, and then the Wraith Lord charged and destroyed the Impulsor. At that point, the Blood Angels just have the Terminator squads on either extreme of the battlefield, so they are going to go ahead and call it there. That will be an Eldari victory.